First time.
Dr. Laura Saunders from the Institute of Living is also living this, and she's here to tell us a little bit more about it. So you know about this from a clinical and personal perspective.
Hello, friends. Happy Wednesday, and I'm living the dream.
Yeah, what's going on? So your daughter's going off to school?
She's going off to college, and I've heard a bunch of parents, friends who are in similar situations. So it's this is sort of targeting those parents whose teens are heading off, or returning to school. So there's a roller coaster of emotion for parents, right? You love having your teen at home, but their behavior as it changes and morphs, they gain additional freedoms. They think they can be so independent, and it often conflicts with the routines at home. So there are flaring tempers, angry outbursts, unwarranted aggravations, and that's just on the part of parents.
Oh.
Right. So you say actually that this is sort of a natural preparation, though, because as you sort of maybe ramp up the conflict, it gets you both ready for your teen to leave.
Right. So this confluence of negative emotions is like the nest getting soiled. So it actually in some ways helps us ready to launch our teens, and honestly makes them want to leave as well. So while the disagreements make leaving easier, it actually creates a whole mix or converse of emotions for the parents. Statements like, when you're at college, you're going to have to do blank for yourself or from your teen. I'm probably not going to come home for Thanksgiving because I don't want to see you anymore. So those kinds of statements are fairly common, and it's part of this concept of like soiling the nest. The conflicts are created in some odd psychological way to make it easier for everyone to part.
Well, it's like a bittersweet reality, though, that our kids need us less and less, right?
Right. So parenting is one of those jobs where the more successful you are, the more your children don't need you anymore, right? The more you've created, right, what we call the roots of responsibility and the wings of independence. So the more successful you are as a parent, the more independent your children will be, and the more they'll leave you. And that really creates a whole host of mixed emotions.
Well, can you make everybody feel better that once they leave, they still want to come home, and like sometimes things actually get better?
I can't promise that, but I can only hope as I'm living the dream myself. But this is where sometimes a little bit of separation does make the heart grow fonder. And I think everyone has a realization of what's going on. But it's really important to identify what you can and cannot do, right? And how little control you have as a parent of a older teen or young adult. So it's really making a concerted effort to not get so angry, not get yourself so worked up, and work on letting the little things go.
But you say, like, when they're, missing family events and they're out with their friends all their time, like, we actually should let that go? You don't give the, hey, as long as you're in my house, these are my rules?
Well, you can take that position, right? But the goal is to find and strike a balance, right? So it might be that you come to the family event for the first hour, and then you leave and do something with your friends, so that you look for some compromise positions. In general, drawing hard lines in the sand with a lot of teens around some of these smaller issues. I'm not talking about safety issues, right? Safety issues are a different story. But these smaller issues, it's let's look to compromise. Come to this event for a little while, and then you can go off and do something else. Or, sit with us for dinner tonight and tomorrow night, and then, the next night you can do something with your friends. So it's trying to strike some balance and compromise.
And take many, many deep breaths.
Yes, it's good for the oxygen in our brain. It helps calm us down. But reflect a little each day on the hard work you've done as a parent. This is the hardest job you'll ever have as a parent. Bring yourself a little bit of grace, humility, gratitude for all the sacrifices you've had to make as a parent, for the success you've created in launching your child, and let it go.
Let it go. Let it go. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Doctor.
Yep. Thank you. It's truly the circle of life. Take care.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, Dr. Saunders.